I hate this for me so bad. I really do. This is a continuation story, as you can tell from the title, about like my work situation, my current work situation. And like the stuff that I'm about to tell you about actually happened today. And I'm still figuring out, like, actually, no, I'm not figuring out. I have decided how I will be moving. And so let me just start the story. I shared before that I entered a new work environment where one of the long-term employees of the company is has a very good rapport with my employer. And although she's beautiful, she's a dark-skinned woman, she's beautiful, she's fashionable, beautiful hair, beautiful skin. She's Gen X. So I've said before that the baby boomers did not do a great job of teaching Gen X not to be colorist. So it really don't matter how I perceive her. She does not perceive herself in a positive light. She's like, I don't know if she is triggered by my age. I don't know if she's triggered by my educational background, my appearance, or a combination thereof. But I knew before I met her that there was likely to be an issue with me being in that space. And come to find out that this company has a very high turnover rate. And I didn't learn that from the employer. I learned it from an outside source. And the client, let's just call it a client, the client was sharing that, over the course of years coming to this company, there were always beautiful women working in the company. And she was just saying how, they didn't always seem to get the work done, but they would just be walking all over the place, from here and there and everywhere. She said, she said, she's an older generation. She said they were sharp, girl, and just so pretty. And she was like, I see he got a type. And obviously, like, when I was hired, that I didn't ask about anything like turnover rate, because it was explained that the company was in transition. And my employer is a good person. He's a man, but he's a good person. But it seems that whoever he hires does not last. And I'm coming to see that it definitely has something to do with this, tenured employee he has, who's basically like family to him. And she's essentially running away his employees. And I guess she has it in for me, for the reasons that I've named. She's done a series of things that have been very passive aggressive, very disrespectful, but in that nice, nasty type of way. And the very last thing she did, the effect was to leave me feeling excluded. And that's a form of bullying, like trying to create an office dynamic where you leave one person out is absolutely a form of bullying. And once I was just so shocked, by how intentional she was in leaving me out, that I remember just kind of like going to lunch and like sitting in my car and like really processing, the act itself, because I just don't get down like that. Like I would never intentionally seek to make one of my coworkers feel excluded. And when she did that, there was like a switch that went off inside of me. And it was just like, I realized at that point that there was no, oh, she'll come to see that I'm a cool person. She'll see that I'm not here really trying to replace her. I'm not in competition with her. I respect her seniority. I respect her expertise. I'm pleasant. I'm easygoing. I'm really a sweet person. And once she did that last little thing, I said, oh, okay, none of that matters. And I've made a video about it before, like how, being monoracial, you can often see kinship or seek kinship in other Black women. And oftentimes, based on how they perceive you and how they perceive other men to perceive you, they will hate you sight unseen, and then that hatred will continue to fester as your your personality comes out even more, and you have one, and you're funny and down to earth, and it's just a lot of things that make you unique, and to have substance in addition to those things is just all of the things that truly make you likable when you're dealing with insecure women. And this is the part that I hate so bad. Like, I hate so bad that this woman is a dark-skinned, unambiguous woman. And I hate so much that the experiences that I have because of proximity to other Black women are often with dark-skinned, unambiguous women. I know some confident, cool, down girls who are dark-skinned, unambiguous women. And out of respect for them, when I make these videos, I always try to hold space in my mind and my heart and in my content to make sure that I acknowledge, like, I know it's not all of them, because if I was a dark-skinned, ambiguous woman and I had worked to dismantle any type of inferiority or internalized racism or colorism, I would want not to be lumped in. I would want this type of content to acknowledge my existence. And so I'm just a moment for those ones. They some real ones. And we appreciate y'all, and y'all exist. But going back to my experience, wait, let me give a full moment for them. Okay. Now back to my experiences. I cannot deny my own experiences, and the majority of the women who I encounter on a regular basis who tend to, I know, in general, just in passing sometimes, like, your mothers have failed you. If you are a Black woman and you are a colorist, and another thing, people don't want to say this or haven't said this, and maybe I just haven't heard people say it, but if you are a dark-skinned Black woman and you don't like lighter-skinned Black women, you are a colorist. You are a colorist. It's reverse colorism in the way that you're acting out, but it's colorism in that you are a colorist because you were being a witch because you believe that woman's complexion makes her better than you. So that makes you a colorist. You could be a victim of colorism and still be a colorist. And that's what's happening right now, to me. So that last incident, that coup de grace, I think that's how you pronounce it, was the incident where she was bullying me by exclusion. And see, one thing about me, you don't got to let me know you don't want me around you but once. One good time, and you do not have to worry about me. You do not have to. One thing you won't have to do is worry about me. And so today, as soon as our employer left, I went on ahead and closed my door. Yes, I did. And in the past, before I knew that there would never be any helping her to see who I am and respond to me the way that she should if she was a decent human, once I gave up on that, I don't care how it looks if I close my door. Because what I'm about to do is block out this negativity. You talk too loud and you're too ghetto anyways. And I have never worked in a corporate environment where people were so loud and ghetto. And by people, I'm talking about her because I am talking about her. Loud, ghetto, and annoying, and making it hard for me to concentrate. And I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you, don't want to see you. And now that our employer is gone, I'm going to close this door. So she is used to that version of me that was still trying to help her to understand that I was a good person. She was used to that version of me. And that version of me would have never closed that door, ever. But that version of me is going to be reserved for people who appreciate her. And so she don't have to worry about that version popping back up ever again as it relates to her. Now, am I going to come into the room and speak to everyone? Am I going to be professional and work cooperatively? Absolutely, because it is beneath me not to do that. But whenever there is an opportunity where there is not work that needs to be discussed, there will be no banter. There will be no fake niceties because you ain't nice, And I was over it. And today I went on ahead and closed that door. And when our employer came back, he said to me, the most unproblematic of them all, that, oh, I know you don't play well with others. You don't like change. I know you don't like change. I said, wait a minute. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Because you just walked in here like telling me that I don't work well, I don't play well with others, and I don't respond well to change. Where is that coming from? Because I've been in here working on the assignments you gave me. Why would you walk in here and say that? And so, he kind of ended that conversation on a jokey note, like, oh, you don't do well with change. You don't do well with change. So I let it go, and then I just was in there continuing to work, but also like quite baffled by that exchange. Like, how you just walk up in here from the streets, telling me that? Who have you been talking to? Who put that in your mind for you to come and say that to me, the way I have been cooperative, the way I have helped people without you even knowing it, the way I have, worked to help your clients when they were fumbling your clients. Anyways, so shortly thereafter, he comes back into my office and he's like, hey, I'm about to go over this and I just want to go over it once. I walk in there and old girl is gone, but her minion, who she's training to be just as hateful, a young girl in her 20s, is there. And her posture, I'm not even about to go there, but she obviously has been eating up the rhetoric from the other woman. And I saw, early on, she too was a lost cause. Unfortunately, also another dark skinned, unambiguous girl. Both of them attractive, but also clearly male centered, and not girls. So, her body language, one thing about me, I can ignore you. I can get the job done and ignore you at the same time. Two things can be true at once. So I just went on ahead and ignored her and got what I needed, asked my questions, understood what I was going over, and I reserved, what I needed to say about, because see, you came in on me unexpectedly telling me all these things about me not working well with others when that's a lie. And what I'm not doing is kissing anyone's behind. But that's another conversation. But you came in on me out of nowhere while I'm working peacefully on your projects. And so you did that real publicly. And what we're not going to do is set a precedent for, having me be somebody's scapegoat because they told you a lie, their version of events, but they didn't tell you what they did and what they have been doing, all the petty and passive aggressive things they have been doing. They haven't told you any of those things. They only told you that as soon as you left, I closed that door. But I digress. So he done came and got me, and he's telling us what he wants us to know. I'm getting my notes. I'm being who I need to be to get the job done. And at the end of his mini, I wouldn't call it a lecture, but at the end of his information, I said, may I say something? And he said, yeah, sure. And I said, I'm highly cooperative. I work extremely well with others, and I am allowed to have a personality, and I am allowed to focus. And I don't have to be allowing anybody to bully me. And so he listened, he held space for it or whatever. But just the fact that, like, you came in here on me who I've never, like, to me, it's like, if I'm not going to address it directly with that person in real time when it's happening or later when I think about it, if I have the ability to let it go, if I have the ability to let it go and I have not addressed it with that person, I'm not going to take it to him. That's to me, I'm not going to come tell you what somebody did to me when that person is available for me to tell them what I don't like that they did. And if I'm not going to tell them, or I have decided that I don't need to tell them because I'm just about to switch it up on them and be consistent in how I move going forward in terms of having very strict boundaries with them, professional boundaries with them, then we don't have nothing to talk about because I have been as nice as I'm going to be, and these boundaries are firm and here to stay. And I really don't know what that means because I never had to kiss nobody's behind in any job I've ever had. And we know Gen Z will quit a job. They learned that from millennials. We are the ones who started that. Like, we raised y'all. We are y'all's big sisters. We are y'all's young, fine aunties. We know how to pivot if necessary. But yeah, I just hate so bad that these stories about dark-skinned Black women who are colorist and practice reverse colorism, I just hate that that's a part of my life. And I hate that it's a part of anyone's life. And I hate that they have learned to hate themselves and they project that hatred onto others when they have not dismantled racism, colorism, and white supremacy in their own hearts and minds. And thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Drop me some comments. Tell me some things that you've experienced